How has Mexico just not been declared a rogue state? Seriously, it is like not a real place. It is just not a real place, man. Where like you're getting the Mexican army fighting against like much better armed, much better trained, much better equipped cartels, and the army's like losing. Like, it's just absolutely mental. Mexico is not a real place. Mexican mayor murdered days after starting job, and you might think, oh, he was obviously gunned down in a hit. No, 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 no. There are pictures, my friend. I got to see them last night on Twitter, which was lovely. The mayor of a Mexican city plagued by drug violence has been murdered less than a week after taking office. Alejandro Arcos was found dead on Sunday in Chilpancingo, a city of around 280,000 people in the southwestern state of Guerrero. He had been mayor for 6 days. So basically, he obviously got into office. He was probably approached on day 1 or 2 when I said plata or plomo, however the hell you pronounce that. He decided to tell the cartels to do one, and instead they did him because that's just how things work in Mexico. Take the bribe or get killed. That's just the way it works. Evelyn Salgado, the state governor, said that the city was in mourning over a murder that fills us with indignation. His death came 3 days after the city government's new secretary, Francisco Tapia, was shot dead. Authorities have not released details of the investigation or suspects. However, Guerrero is one of the worst affected states for drug violence, and drug cartels have murdered dozens of politicians across the country. Authorities confirmed Arco's murder after unverified social media images showed what appeared to be his remains. They're obviously okay. The article is on purpose being very, very vague. They showed his severed head in public. They left it out there in public as a warning. Just the guy's head. The head of the mayor of the town. I mean, if you want to send a message that's going to scare the shit out of people, that's going to do it. Jesus. Arco's social media posts show that he had spent his days in office supervising disaster relief efforts following Hurricane John last month, which caused severe flooding. Pictures were posted to his Facebook account in the hours before his death of meetings with relief workers and residents. Alejandro Moreno, a Mexican senator, said Arcos and Tapia were young and honest officials who sought progress for their community. He called on federal authorities to take charge of the investigation, given Guerrero's ungovernability. Arcos' institutional Revolutionary Party called for justice. Enough. Blah. Sorry, I'm so bunged up with this bloody cold. Enough of violence and impunity. The people of Guerrero do not deserve to live in fear, it said on Twitter. Politicians, particularly at the local level, frequently fall victim to bloodshed connected to corruption and the multi-billion-dollar drugs trade. Guerrero is one of the worst affected states due to the location on the Pacific Coast smuggling routes, and Chilpancingo, is that how that's pronounced, has long been the scene of tough battles between two drug gangs, the Ardilos and the Tlacos. I don't know how you pronounce that. At least 6 candidates for public office were killed in the state in the run up to Mexico's 2nd of June elections. More than 450,000 people have been murdered and tens of thousands have gone missing across Mexico since the government deployed the army to combat drug trafficking in 2006. And the funniest thing about that is the army is fucking losing. They are like, have you seen some of these guys out there? They're equipped with, like, not technicals. Some of these drug gangs have APCs. Like, not, oh, did they weld a bunch of plates on a fucking pickup truck? No, they have literal APCs. Like, the actual military APCs. It is fucking mental. Right, honestly, I'll admit it's terrible for the people in Mexico living in fear every single day. But still, I mean, when you put the army against these guys and the army is losing, but I mean, that's the problem. Like, unfortunately, the drug trade is extremely lucrative. It's extremely lucrative. Like, was it El Chapo? No, who am I thinking of? Pablo Escobar. Apparently, they were spending $30,000 a month on rubber bands to hold the stacks of money together. There's so much hard currency hidden all the way throughout Colombia. Someone could probably own a house in Colombia and they have millions and millions and millions of dollars hidden inside their walls as insulation and they just don't know. They just don't know. And there's probably hundreds of families all over Colombia that don't know that their house is actually worth quite a lot more than the listing price, right? But it's just, honestly, That's the problem is when they've got shit tons of money like that, yeah, they can afford a fucking tank if they could get it into the country. And they probably could because they've got all of the dock workers in their pocket because that's how they ship the merchandise out. Honestly, I don't know where this is going to go. I mean, to be honest, it's very, very beneficial for the American government's plans to have a nice flow of drugs into the country. You know, like the CIA in the 80s. Don't worry about it. But still, I just still can't believe that Mexico is a real place.